I want to hear, I know we don't have a ton of time,
Yep.
but I want to hear a bit more about you, your upbringing, why real estate, and then why the Collins Group.
Yeah, so from the start, it wasn't always real estate.
Okay.
But talking about just bringing up, me and Harold have a very similar path up. That's why we kind of connect so well, kind of jive off each other well. Grew up on the oldest of three boys, two younger brothers. Always were playing sports. Always growing up doing something. So played sports growing up. Was a baseball guy. Did that all the time. Played football some, but really I was always passionate about baseball.
Okay.
Grew up like that. Brothers always playing, and went and played baseball in college actually. So still at this point not knowing.
Where at?
Jacksonville State.
Okay. Okay.
Played
Nice.
2 years there, and then ended up transferring to Alabama to finish up. But from that point, didn't know what I was going to do. Always was good at math, so went to finance when I actually had to declare a major when I got to Alabama. Always was interested in real estate, the idea of it, but didn't really know the extent of like how it worked and how many different avenues it was. Harold's family and my family, we go to church together, and that's how we kind of knew each other. He used to come to some of our practices as well with baseball with the high school team. So that's where we officially met, but we went to church with his family. And I remember my dad and him were talking one time. He's in my dad's Sunday school class and saying that I had a little bit of an interest in real estate. So, he reached out, we talked, went and saw what it was all about this past summer, and really kind of got an idea of what all happens in real estate and like what all it entails, and just fell in love with it really. Was exactly what I was looking for. With finance, it's what I'm really good at, and I love the numbers and the business side of it. And you can incorporate that in real estate, which is great, but the whole idea of sitting at a desk all day and not really getting to be freedom with all this stuff is kind of what drew me away from that. And with the idea of going with Harold and riding around with him, and every day something new. You don't know what you're going to expect, which is, I like that a lot.
Yeah, you're in a lot of uncharted waters.
Yes.
You can wind up at some random dude's house doing a podcast, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I didn't know we were doing this until I got to his house this morning. So
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
exactly
absolutely.
right. When I get to Harold's house, every day is new. There's nothing the same. But that's what I love about it. It's a new opportunity, and I love just meeting new people and have different opportunities. So it's really what kind of drew me to real estate, and it's a lot of fun.
So many young people are afraid to go into it in what we like to call a full-time fashion.
Absolutely.
Like, so afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And without even opening the can of worms that is the COVID and the post-COVID market, where everyone's like, no security. Like, I got to run away. And I've heard countless people say that if you really want to grow and you really want to learn more in your craft and do well financially doing it, that you have to take risk or responsibility, or both.
Absolutely.
Like, you have to.
And I think something that kind of shows why I do love real estate so much is similar to Harold. We have similar traits and stuff, is the competitiveness of it. It's almost, you can spin it to a baseball mindset, like a competitiveness to want to be the best. And in this business, you do as well as you work and as hard as you work at it. And that kind of drive that you create your own value in it is what really excites me and draws me to the business. And it's kind of a cool spin on it. Not a lot of people think that way.
No, I'm with you. And I want to dive into that slightly because I feel like people are too quick to jump on that concept. Mm-hmm. Like, you hear about coaches, you hear about recruiters, you hear about so many different people analyzing numbers, right? Numbers. It's almost like there's a venture capital aspect to looking at real estate professionals and other salesmen and other sister professions. I see it a lot on the lending side, right? Where there's almost like a value that the industry puts on you for what you produce. And I had somebody remind me of the phrase last week that comparison is the thief of joy, right? So my big question for you is, competing to be the best is awesome, right? But who are you really competing against?
Yes.
Because like, kind of like what Harold and I were talking about, and I know this is getting quickly philosophical, but what drives you to compete?
Sure.
Who are you competing for? What's the mark in representing your brand and everything else versus just what the market or industry tells you you're supposed to be?
Yes, and that term can get spun many different ways, like competing to cut corners to be the best. And that's not the goal. It's something that he's really preached to me is it's not like quick term results. It's creating these relationships, right? So it's a competitive to be the best in the sense of you want to bring your best to people every day. And it's creating these relationships and really instilling who you are as a person to these people so that even if it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years down the road, they'll come back and they remember you and how you were treating them, how you had that relationship with them, and how they really felt like welcoming from you. And it's a competing aspect of you want to compete to be the best you can be and to how much can you bring to them to bring them value and show them that you are the best option. And that's what really I see it as, the competitiveness of it is showing that you can help them more than anyone else.
I like that. I like that because especially now, right, everyone is trying to wrap their heads around this lawsuit, this NAR lawsuit coming out of Missouri and everything else. And they're trying to figure out, okay, well, is our name, the name of our profession being tarnished?
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's like, well, you never really were that relevant in my mind if you weren't providing intense value to the customer.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, like they wouldn't use you or even for that matter, any other real estate professional.
Exactly.
So I think that's cool that you at a young age, at a pivotal portion of your development are like, it's about the standard that we represent.
Yes.
Like that's what we're trying to uphold. That's what we're trying to compete to uphold because people will tell you what you want to hear. And people will always look for a way to make money off of you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then understanding where you're going to go with that is awesome. So in relation to the Collins Group and the brand that you decided to be a part of, how much of a leap was it for you to say, you know what? Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump on the bow tie train. I'm going to wear it. What was that like for you? At first, were you like, hey, is this kind of weird?
Yes.
Or were you like, you know what? I like it. I'm in.
So over the summer, he made it clear, because it was still just, I was figuring it out. He didn't make me wear it, so I didn't wear it. And it was the idea of, I thought it was his identity, right? And he, throughout time, explained his, thoughts on it and his vision. But he was the bow tie guy, right? Like people recognize him as that. So I thought I was going to have my own thing to stand out. And as time went on, he kind of showed me that it's the brand that he's building so that like we're incorporated as a team, like we do individual sales, but really we work as a team aspect. So the team itself is what the brand is representing. So like when I wear a bow tie, I'm not representing him, I'm representing the team that we're creating. And, our goal is to grow that to whatever extent it might be. Maybe we have other guys that come in and represent that. But the bow tie doesn't represent one person. It represents the brand that we're trying to create. And then it creates
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not the bow tie is Harold Collins. The bow tie is the Collins Group.
Exactly. And right now it is Harold, but that's what we're trying to grow and make it where it's multiple entities of it.
That's cool. It's like an icon that represents your professional solidarity.
Yes.
That's really, really fun. I think that's cool. And also like being able to grow with people is amazing. You know what I mean? Like
very rewarding.
It always goes back and forth in the industry, and I think it is very rewarding. But also what I like about what you're saying is that most of the people that I see who figure out where their home is in whatever team, in whatever brokerage, wherever they happen to be, I love asking them why. Like, why did you plug there, regardless of where you were before and, wherever you think your career is going to take you, why are you here now? And almost everybody who is where they are and are where they stay is because of a particular individual.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like somebody that they can lean on, who's going to help them grow, who's going to help them build their brand, who's going to mentor them. And I think that's key because even the most successful people that I have ever met in any industry, like very few of them don't have a mentor.
Absolutely.
And they're all different shapes and sizes.
You're stepping into an industry that you don't have knowledge on. And he's been an awesome asset to me. Just like I said, came into the business, had an idea of what real estate entailed, but didn't know to what extent it could go. And just in these short period of time of working for him, like he's instilled some awesome knowledge and just principles, really, even just how the business should look. And we've had examples like with our brokerage EXP, we have awesome resources where we can go on these videos and have just a lot of different collaborations with people speaking about their experiences and all that. And lots of times I've got to see, like, Harold's been one of the guys that they always turn to because of how he does things. And it's easy to take for granted because that's all I know, all I see every day of, like, what he's bringing to the table, but really getting that confirmation from other people of, like, what he really is and the impact he's having and bringing and how important it is and successful it is really cool to see. And just really the principles and the true meaning of, like, wanting the best interest of your client is a really cool process. And it really is rewarding. And even if it doesn't work out to a deal or you make money, like you said, working for free, it really is rewarding still, helping a family and seeing them, their appreciation towards you. It really is all you kind of need.
No, that is rewarding. And I feel like you are already starting to answer the question that I want to ask, because I know that we need to wrap this up here soon. But what is your favorite part about it so far, and what experiences have already made a really positive impact on you?
So, still early on, still a lot of, unique situations, but just seeing a family, like, really appreciative and, like, how, like, the connections after the fact, right? Like, the staying in touch and, like, you really are creating a relationship for life with these people. This is not just we're helping you and then we're done talking to you. Like, these are people that you're going to meet, that you're going to stay in contact with, and really, like, you're just meeting really good people, and it's really nice and it's rewarding. And meeting all these new families and not just staying in your little capsule almost, growing your influence and, like, going to lunch and people recognizing you and coming up and speaking to you and saying, hey, how's it going? Catching up with them. And it's been really rewarding, and plenty of situations where I've, been lucky enough to just go along with them. And so these are families he's been helping for months, and I've just kind of plugged in there and stepped in to even do a showing when he can't go or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just them still having the trust in me because of what he's instilled in them, and, like, them having good relationships has been awesome.
I love that, dude. I love that. So for those listening, how do they get in contact with you, Jack?
Yeah, same as Harold. We all have kind of shared emails. We can bounce off each other, but my email is jack@collinsgrouprealestate.com. My phone number is 205-500-1511, and you can bounce calls off me or him if you can't reach either of us. We always work together, either one you're trying to reach, so we're always available.
Absolutely, man. I love your energy. I like the positivity that you're bringing to this venture, and I'm really happy for you, man. I think it's going to go in all the right ways, and I mean, you're in amazing hands, and I feel like you're bringing good, what they like to say, youthful vigor right to the forefront. So thanks so much for being here. I mean, I don't take your time for granted. Like, I know that you guys have a lot of things going on and you're busy. So I absolutely loved unpacking this a little bit more with you, and I hope to have you on again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Catch you soon.